While making the onion theory, one thing became incredibly clear, that the glow Pikmin really needed an explanation. Are they even Pikmin? What are they made of? And of course, how do they relate to the onion theory? Well, I think I've answered all of these questions, and you don't have to believe the onion theory to follow along with this one, but we will address it for those who do. Hello everyone, you're watching Variety Television, and welcome to another Pikmin Theory. As previously stated, today we're discussing Glow Pikmin. And like last time, I think it would be better to skip over the announcements for this one, so let's just get started. And of course, thank you all for taking the time to watch, and please remember, this is all just a theory. We're gonna tackle this in sections and tie it all together at the end, and let's start with something rather basic, but something that's also necessary to establish early. Are Glow Pikmin actually Pikmin? If you had asked me before researching this video, I would have said no. My original explanation was that they were similar creatures to Pikmin, but separate, most likely some type of convergent evolution. However, I no longer think that this is the case. Much the opposite, actually. Glow Pikmin are actual Pikmin that appear to be slightly different due to divergent evolution. It actually makes a lot of sense, and the game itself seems to reinforce this idea. Glow Pikmin are the only known Pikmin type to come out at night. Every other instance of Pikmin or onions that we see retreat to the atmosphere at sunset to avoid predators, and the Glow Pikmin do just the opposite. Being the decomposers of the Pikmin world, they've evolved massive strengths in order to survive the harsh nights, and they use their nest, the luminol, as bait to draw in enemies. Their spiritual-seeming nature, their nocturnality, and their overall differing behavior is what led to the glows being classified as the question marks we know them as today. This is further backed up by the existence of an early version of the Glow Pikmin and this green onion that was found unused in Pikmin 4's code. Shout out to Wigwam Man for making a short on this, otherwise I probably would not have known about it. The fact that they always had an intended onion is enough for me to believe that these creatures were always intended to be Pikmin, but their differences allowed the developers to take them down a more mysterious path. I think the main turning point for the glows being classified as question marks comes down to the onions specifically. Typically, Pikmin have onions. Even Pikmin that were once thought to not have onions actually do, but the Glow Pikmin don't. Why don't they? And that's an easy question to answer. Like I stated before, onions always leave the surface at sundown, and Glow Pikmin are nocturnal. If a Glow Pikmin was found and absorbed into the player's main onion, then that would force the entire onion to land, putting all the other types at risk, as well as defying everything that we know about onion behavior. That's why Glow Pikmin were given luminols, and probably is what ultimately led to their mysterious and misleading classification. If you ask me, Glow Pikmin are Pikmin. Now, if they are in fact Pikmin, then why do they seem like ghosts? Well, that's another one that's easy to answer. While digging into the Glow Pikmin for this video, I found 4 sources that I think inspired the Glow Pikmin. The first and most obvious is ghosts. Specifically like the Casper types of ghosts, but ghosts nonetheless. That seems kind of random though, doesn't it? I mean, every other Pikmin type is representative of a hazard or obstacle, but Glow Pikmin are just ghosts? Even the hazard that does go along with them, which we will discuss in a different video, can defeat them. It's the total opposite of all the other types. This line of questioning made me think deeper about what could have caused the developers to decide to go with ghosts, and I think I got something. Obviously, Pikmin die and we see their ghosts. They even have these little tails, and that's probably what inspired the appearance of Glow Pikmin, but the fact that we never see regular Pikmin ghosts collect anywhere makes me think that Glow Pikmin are not the ghosts of Pikmin. Then I remembered that Pikmin themselves were inspired by ants, so I looked into if there were any small bugs like that which could have influenced the ghost idea. And, well, yes, I actually did find something. Glow Pikmin look like ghosts, float around, create swarms, and can merge all their bodies together into a ball of energy. However, we know that they probably aren't actual ghosts because their forms seem to be, at least mostly, physical, even weighing as much as a normal Pikmin. I'd imagine you'd have a hard time throwing a ghost, and I also don't believe it would weigh down a clipboard. Certain features of the Glow Pikmin certainly make them seem like ghosts, but I don't think they are. Keep all this in mind as you listen to the similarities of Glow Pikmin and an insect known as the ghost midge. Ghost midges are small flying insects. They are known to create swarms, and the reason they have their name is exactly because of these swarms. People used to mistake swarms of these midges for ghosts, as their swarms would often be roughly the size of a person and would appear to shift in and out of existence. Obviously, this effect was created by the swarm flying around, but it's pretty obvious how these insects got their names. Also, a lot of midges that are known to bite come out at sunset and stay out through the night, much like the Glow Pikmin themselves. I mean, nocturnal bugs whose behavior made people mistake them for ghosts, and nocturnal Pikmin whose behavior made people mistake them for ghosts. Makes sense to me. Clearly, some of their inspiration did in fact come directly from ghosts, but I think the midge connection is solid, especially if these guys really were intended to be actual Pikmin. Ghosts and midges are not the only source of inspiration that I found though, and again, I'm saying inspiration, not that they are this, because at the end, I think it's a combination of all four of these things. Anyway, the next thing I'm referring to is nuclear energy. Simply put, the luminol, despite being a reference to a termite mound, also resembles a nuclear reactor. This is reinforced by the specific color of the glows, that signature radioactive green, as well as the known radioactive history of the planet. Once again, I will mention Olimar's Geiger counter. And finally, the whole process of a night expedition reminds me of fueling a reaction. Think about it, if the luminols are also inspired by reactors, then the glow pellets are the fuel we feed the reaction. More fuel gets us more energy output, or glow Pikmin, and by the end we get our nuclear waste leftover, the glow sap. We have hints that the Pikmin themselves could be energy by their behavior as well. Levitation and teleportation could be attributed to ghosts or energy beings equally, as both feats are theorized to be possible only with enough energy. I mean, depending on how you describe the two, you could consider an energy being and a ghost to be the same thing. Obviously, the glow mob looks like a giant energy ball, and it even stuns opponents. And finally, we have the law of conservation of energy. When glow pellets are put into the luminol, they are converted into glow Pikmin, and when glow Pikmin fall in battle, they do not die, but rather are converted into another form of energy, possibly photons, and then return to the luminol. The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only converted. Glow pellets aren't destroyed by the luminol, rather converted into the energy that is glow Pikmin, who themselves convert either into photons or seeds. I think it's clear that not only ghosts and midges could have inspired glow Pikmin, but also energy, and possibly even nuclear reactions as well. Finally, the wildest source of inspiration of all, a movie. The movie that I believed was used as inspiration is Jupiter Ascending. Let's go over some key points from Pikmin 4 involving those things and see how it compares to the plot of the movie. Oh, and I guess spoilers for Jupiter Ascending. For starters, we have luminols that produce glow sap. Glow sap is output at the end of the night if the luminol is still standing. When we defeat enemies, they are broken down into glow pellets and then transferred to the luminol. Since glow Pikmin come from these, we can assume that glow sap has something to do with glow pellets as well. Basically, what I'm saying is that enemies' bodies are broken down and converted into two things, glow Pikmin and glow sap. Makes sense, right? Since we know enemies turn into glow pellets, we can assume the piles of pellets we see scattered about are some sort of broken down enemy as well, since they don't seem to have a natural source like pellet posies, for example. We know that glow sap has amazing healing properties as well when applied to a leafling, not only curing them but also actually healing their body. It's regenerative. Okay, so leaflings are in need of a cure, and there is one thing we know that cures them, glow sap. Glow sap is produced by luminols and most likely consists of glow pellets, which appear to be the broken down remains of enemies. In Jupiter Ascending, there is a company named Abrasax that has multiple planets that they have factories on. These factories are all producing a substance called Regen X, which is specifically used for its regenerative properties, hence the name. Later into the movie, it's revealed that Regen X is made out of humans. Obviously, this isn't one-to-one because glow sap is not made of people, but rather enemies. They are both made of the deceased though, which I think is worth pointing out. I had never seen this movie before, but something really specific from Pikmin 4 forced me to look into it. I was trying to research the scientific name for the luminol, Calyx aeternium, and I found Latin words similar to calyx, but nothing close enough to call it a connection. Even the definitions of the similar words, to wash, doesn't really make any sense. However, the second word, aeternium, is directly from Latin and means continuously or forever. Put together, to wash forever also doesn't really make sense, so I decided I may have to look elsewhere for the origin of calyx. After much digging, I found it. Directly out of Jupiter ascending, we have a planet named Calyx. What is Calyx exactly? Well, it's one of those planets I referred to earlier, one owned by Abrasax specifically for the production of Region X, which, as you'll recall, is made of bodies and is our parallel to Glowsap. The luminol, again, is named Calyx aeternium, Calyx forever. Since Calyx here is in reference to a planet producing Region X, maybe the luminol's name is indeed meant to reference the clear similarities between these two plots. And there you have it. Glow Pikmin are Pikmin, and seem to have 4 sources of inspiration: spirits, ghost midges, energy, and Jupiter ascending. For those of you here for the onion theory connections, let's get into that. First and foremost, Glow Pikmin being a type of Pikmin seems to throw the whole idea of the onion theory off, doesn't it? I mean, many of you pointed out the fact that glow sap directly counters the leafification process, seeming to contradict the idea of permanent leaders. However, I think this fact only further backs up the theory. The Glow Pikmin act as a type of decomposer for the ecosystem, and their luminol serves many of the same purposes as an onion, but specialized for nighttime survival. Not only this, but it seems to intentionally draw in enemies, acting as a type of lure to dangerous predators. Why would it do this? Well, I think it's the luminol's specially evolved way of being efficient. We established in the onion theory that onions are both intelligent and able to emit waves for communication and crashing ships. If luminols are just special onions for Glow Pikmin, maybe they have the same abilities as a typical onion, emitting waves to draw in enemies, much like the Gildamander emits waves in an attempt to draw in Pikmin. Gildamanders want to eat and luminols want to grow. As for the glowsap countering the leafification process, well, of course it would. If onions have evolved this process as a way to secure leaders that benefit their Pikmin, the luminols would need something similar. If a leader is turned into a leafling, they suddenly become obsessed with Dondori, but that's not all. We also see them all develop the behavior of retreating into caves during the night. Every leafling other than Olimar is found in a cave, and we can easily assume that Olimar retreats to the safe in Hero's Hideaway each night. The luminols and Glow Pikmin are directly countered by this type of behavior from leaders, so they evolved Glowsap to secure leaders that are not leaflings. This allows luminols to have leaders brave enough to go out at night, but also secures them in their own type of way, by providing a source of food in the Glowsap. So that's really the only difference to the theory. Glow Pikmin are Pikmin, and Glowsap is their own way of securing leaders, just like the onions have leafification. Thank you all for watching to this point, I really appreciate it. If you did watch to this point, chances are you liked this video, so why not consider subscribing and leaving a like. Remember, it's all just a theory, and that's all I have for this video, but stay tuned, Variety Television will be right back.